And you talked about how putting, finding your differentiator, right? So what you're a veteran, so doing something on Veterans Day, um, you know, parents, your Mom's Day, find your niche and figure it out, and then get it out there for visibility. What would you suggest as to the pace at which you put stuff out? Meaning once a week, once a month, this differentiator, right? So not necessarily your social media strategy, but how often? Because I think there's a lot of us that'll get overwhelmed and you go onto that calendar and you're going to see a million things and you're going to want to do it all, but that's not the best strategy. So what would you?
Right. And don't do a million. So, so the what I typically recommend is 4 times a year. Okay, 4 times.
Okay.
So maybe two of them would be based on the use everything you've got part, right? Love that. And then look to see what other holidays there are that are specific for you. Like Kathy, when is, and I bet you there is, International Speaking Day, or some holiday that celebrates that, because that is your beautiful bailiwick, right? And I would zoom in on that. You want to talk about momhood, then do Mother's Day, right? And I would just zoom in on like four particular ones and stay connected to that. I think that'll help and support you the best. Just those. And the only exception to that is if there's something that happens specifically in your arena, right? Like, for instance, I have a divorce coach, and we're doing great talking about how to stay in love. But for Valentine's Day, we do how to fall out of love. Hee hee hee, right? And I think so that's important, right? And so then Johnny Depp got divorced. And so she started talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I coached her and said, "This is what you're going to talk about." Do you know she was booked one full day? I'm not kidding, like in front of the Zoom with TV network after TV network. 4 minutes, by the way, let me just say, an average TV segment is about 4 minutes. Okay, so that's why you got to come out so strong, pitching in a focused way without pitching over pitching. You know what I'm saying? You can't be selling on TV. You're not going to sell your product. You're going to sell your expertise powerfully that people are going to go, "Yes, I want to be with you. Yes, I just want to know whatever you're offering," right? And that's what is going to drive people to you. I promise it will. And then, by the way, the other piece is when you're being interviewed, especially on TV. So, for instance, this woman was interviewed consistently for the Johnny Depp Amber Heard divorce, even though it's not like her specialty, celebrity divorce. That's not her thing. Her thing is divorce coach, period. But I want you to get bigger mindsets here about what else is possible for other themes that you can carry out into the world. And that's just using your piece and your everything you've got. So pick four at the max. If you feel that that's too much, then pick three, a minimum twice a year with your bigger story. But in my publicity system of every 60 days, you're going to actually have free media every 60 days because you're going to be seen locally. It's a local strategy with some announcement that's super cool and makes you look awesome every 60 days, right? But that's a very specific free strategy. I took your question as how often should I go out with a bigger story? Minimum two, probably max four, unless there's something very specific, with the exception, I mean, that you need to talk about it right now. Keith, if God forbid a cruise, and there's lots of cruise news, by the way, all the time, just saying about things that go wrong. And if I were you, I'd be talking to that as an example for Keith, right? Maggie, oh my gosh, you are like, as far as I'm concerned, totally positioned to be that cybersecurity, news whiz with, here's smart things that you can do right now. You see where I'm all going, right? And as I talk to each one of you, I could do it for each one of you. So that's what I'd say, Kathy, for you. And Kathy, the other thing that I think you're really good at, and I would talk to people about, is the I'll call it the insecurity, but let's call it the shyness. The are you afraid to speak? Guess what? You're speaking anyway, you know? And really talk to that even a little more. Would be an interesting media perspective because I think there's a lot of people out there who are feeling a little afraid to show their voice and share their shine. I love that. Good soundbite.